Do you find that lenders do this when they're just starting out, or do they do it every year? What's the frequency of having their files audited?
Yeah, it depends. So usually when I start practicing with someone, when it's a new client, a lot of times they'll ask me, my favorite question and the most difficult one is, anything that I'm missing, right? And it's a challenging question because I have no idea. I don't know, I don't know the fundamental problems. I don't know what you don't know, right? And so when it's the new clients, I typically state something along the lines of, why don't I just go and piggyback along this loan with you? Right? I'm just going to sit the entire time. I'm going to sit in the background, put me on every email. Let me just kind of follow the process, because through that process, I can understand to some degree where are the holes in the way you practice, right? So that's usually the best thing for someone that's a new relationship, because then I can get a gauge for what they do know and what they don't know. For a client, what the request that we typically see, let's say for example on a loan audit, that more often than not is going to be someone that has pretty sophisticated operations in place, and someone that's kind of been doing it for a few years and really just wants to make sure that they're dotting I's and crossing T's, right? So that's typically someone that's got a couple, at least been in practice for a couple of years. And in particular, it tends to be more of the mortgage funds who really are concerned because they have, now especially, there's a lot of contingent liability risk, which they're selling their paper. They may be, doing other sort of secondary market activity now with the paper. And so they're really concerned, saying, hey, I don't want this thing to come back and bite me, right? And so that's usually what I see from the audit side of it.
Let's say there's a company that's funding loans and then selling them.
Yeah.
Do you see that the buyers of those loans are requiring an audit, or does it just is it a requirement?
But what's funny is we're engaging right now with a very large loan buyer who is having us audit all of the people that they buy from, right? Because they really are struggling as well, because it's interesting when you think about what the loan buyer's practice is. You are now buying from 15 different processes and procedures, and the way that each lender makes sausages differently, right? And the level of compliance that any particular lender has is going to be fundamentally different. And as loan buyers, it's very difficult and deceptive on their end of it to understand is because they're asking me a different question, which is, can I trust this person, right? Do they know what they're doing? Because they know what they know, and they don't know what they don't, right? So it's an interesting aspect of it. So I tend to see really what I would say is an industry that is maturing, right? Because that's really I think maybe 5 years ago, it was a really different conversation people were having, right? Because they were trying to originate, and the goal, and this feeling of, if I make mistakes here and there, that's okay, right? And I'm seeing really a fundamental shift in that mindset of saying, no, like I want to sleep at night. And that's really that I'm hearing more and more from our clients in terms of what they really want out of this.